Yep.
Do you generally use pen to do all your keyboard and what are you using why?
No. I use for line work, I use a Stadler pigment liner, number 3, usually. I mean, because I know my shadows, I know what I'm doing there. If you look at my pencil, it looks a little bit like a coloring book. What's exciting for me when I ink is seeing if it's going to work. Because I kind of know in broad strokes that certain things are going to work. Then as I start inking, I start going, okay, yeah, we could go a little bit further with the black here. I'll put in a little fussy rendering, and I'm going, we don't need that. Stronger if it's just a black shade. And I try to be a little bit more painterly when I lay in my black stuff. When I pencil, I'm pretty tight and pretty precise. If anybody were to ink my pencil, this stuff would be really cold and lifeless and technical looking. But I go back in and I ink really fast, laying in my blacks. I lay in my blacks with a brush. The line work, I kind of what I call throwing a line. You know, it's not painstakingly traced. So in a lot of cases, I'll spend 45 minutes penciling these 3 little lines here. Oh, wait, I erase that one, and maybe one should be here. No, erase that. I'll work on those 3 lines for 45 minutes, and then when I ink it, I'll go. They won't even be close to where the pencil lines were, But you want to go back into it. It's like the inker says, boy, this pencil, he's so stiff. This guy's really gotta loosen up. Too much coffee, I don't know what it is. The inker comes in and says, let me show you how to do it. And has a lot of fun. The inker is more of a painter than the penciler. And then I also, once I've gotten my stuff to this stage, I start going back in with white paint and white out and just kind of touching up a little edge here, or maybe I need a little bit more of a dot in here, or a little bit more of a shape here. A lot of times with faces, like this nose is pretty nasty. He's got a little dog nose. I'd have to go in and bring that thing down a little bit. There. But there's a lot of back and forth. I'll do half the line work, and then I'll go in and start playing around with the brush. And some of the lines I'll end up putting in with the brush. And then some of the lines I'll come in with the white out and take them back out, or just, fuss with the edge. So there's a real painterly quality to this stuff once I start, moving.
You've got time for one or two more. Webster, you would finish on next.
About some of your favorite stories that kind of influenced your work, or maybe why they can tell you, whether it's film, books,
Well, I mean, I don't know what my drawing was like before I read Dracula, but when I read Dracula, I said, that's the world I wanted. Now, I can't live in it, and there would be downsides to living in it, but I wanted the world to kind of feel like it's in that world. So that was a major, and I've been a fan of that kind of literature ever since. So I'm keenly aware of mystery and atmosphere in my work. So that kind of literature in general has been a huge,
Bringing it to the black and sort of showing it out, finding where the words are going to go. That's the big bringing the white area on the page. That's the kind of takes into account. Is it the thumbnail stage or?
Not the thumbnail stage usually, but as I pencil, I don't write a script. When I'm running my own work, I haven't written a complete script. So a lot of my writing is going on while I'm drawing. And there have been cases where I say, make this composition work. The work is right there. What do you have to say? So there have been times that I've been bringing it down, because I'm doing really good. One of the toughest things now, because of the way the lettering and everything is done, it's very rare you get to do the stuff, and unless the lettering is going to work, put the book on board. It's just logistically, dark horse, and for anybody else who has the misfortune of getting in the way. So like, no, this balloon needs to be a little bit rounder. The tail needs to be a little bit more like this. I need a little bit more wiggle to this tail. Because there's so much personality that goes into wordplay. Because they're not aliens, they're laying there in the art. And I remember talking to Mobius or some other French cartoonist, and this was the thing they couldn't get over, is that in America, artists did do their own word rules. Because you get so much personality thrown into the lettering. And so a lot of my sound effects I do myself. A lot of and as I get back to drawing comics, if a guy's going to make a guy's going to say, gah, yeah, you know, even if that's a word balloon, I'll probably draw those words. You know, the trick is to get a letterer who's as complimentary to your drawing style as possible.
And we have time for one final question. You can wait.
You mentioned Dracula, and I was just in a roller panel and talking about sort of the painting pencil style. I was wondering if you were influenced by Zuma.
You know, I was impressed with how paint stuff. Like Alex Feld, he's a guy who I never studied. I don't know what it is. It seems that was just so mushy that it was kind of against my hard edge kind of thing. It's so soft and runny and spooky and mysterious. I think I responded to stuff that was a little bit more hard edge. Because that is pretty tough and gnarly. But it was something I was a huge fan of, so I'm sure there's some part of me. I remember being impressed as hell by a shot of Dracula Gene did, where he drew Dracula's head, and he drew his foot, and everything in between was cake. And I said, no idea how that body, connects up. I figured he didn't draw that whole body Art Adams style and figure out what the cave went. He knew I need a head, and at some point, I need the end of this guy. So, there you go.
All right, we need to get Mike up to his next panel. So I thank you all for coming out. We have